Hello, I'm Rico Cavella, and I want to welcome you to this master class that's entitled The American Wellness Revolution. And we're so happy that you're here because this is such a critical topic that we want to go over. This is all about how we're going to transform America's health epidemic. So once again, thank you for being here and supporting this critical cause. So my partner, John Jew, say hello, John.
Yeah, hi Rico. Hi everybody. Good to be here.
Yeah, really fun to be here. So John and I, we have teamed up to get this critical, important message out to the world. As you know, as American, we're facing serious a health crisis, especially for our elders. The majority of people are becoming old and sick and dying way too young. So we're here to let you know that you don't have to accept this as your fate. We're going to show you why this is happening and let you know that this doesn't have to be your fate, and you can easily reverse and prevent old age and live a much healthier, energetic, vital, long life. I'm sure you want that, right? And so we're here to tell you that you can keep your mobility, your strength, your mental acuity, and your independence and your enjoyment of life no matter what your age. So that's our message that we're going to share with you today. So, John, talk a little bit about our mission statement that we've come up with, and then talk about a little bit more about what this master class is all about.
Yes, happy to do that. Our mission is to empower elders 60 and over to achieve optimal mental, physical, and financial health, enabling them to live longer, healthier lives while having the energy and vitality for making a bigger, positive impact in the world.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
We are creating a national master plan for healthy aging, and it begins today with this master class. And we will be doing a series of master classes interviewing top wellness experts. This master class is for people who not only want to improve their health and longevity and keep their independence for life, but who are looking for meaning and purpose in their lives. So key here. Feel empowered, not threatened. It's about redefining what life can be like at every stage in life.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's all about. That's what we're about. And so I just want to add that now this master class is not just for elders, but it's for people who are concerned about your aging parents and the longevity of your parents. So, but also it's also for you, because if you begin to incorporate what you'll learn in this master class, then you'll never have to worry about becoming old and sick and dying way too young. So, John, let's talk about why this mission is so important.
Yeah, it is so important and it's urgently important just by observation, just by our self-awareness of where our society is today. And our society today is it's very unfortunate that just by observation, we can see where we are. And that is especially manifested in our elders. Our elders are in situations now where their cognitive decline has really gotten to a point where they don't even know that self-awareness is not even there. So we've got to turn things around. It does not have to be that way. And the quality and longevity of your life can be a lot different. And so really what we're doing be talking about, Rico, today, and what we're be talking about to our audience is that little shift, that next step, that little mindset that can be just notched over in a direction that we can actually get better as we age and not worse. And that's a huge statement. It's such an obvious statement to say. And unfortunately, there's probably 95% of our 60 and over think that, oh, tomorrow is going to be worse than today, or tomorrow is going to be, I don't even want to think about tomorrow. I'm just living and surviving for today. So we're going to be talking about that and how we can make some inroads and how we can do that mindset shift, because it's all in your mind, where we can get you going in a good direction.
Yeah, well said, John. And then the other reasons I want to add, let you know why this is so important. I mean, as we age, we gain knowledge and we gain wisdom. And so we need more people to stay healthy and energetic as you age so you can give back your knowledge and your wisdom to help solve the major challenges that we're having on this planet as humanity. And then also, we're really lacking in mentors and role models for younger people. So we need you to stay healthy so you can be a mentor and a role model for younger people. And one more important thing I think is important. If you go back in history and look at the majority of the dominant societies back in history, one of the biggest factors of their demise, where we're at in America, is when the population became unhealthy. So there's so many issues here and they're all solvable. That's the good news. So we want to keep our life strong. We want to keep our country strong as well.
Yeah, and that's a really good point too, Rico, where here in America and our society looks at our elders now, and this I'm speaking in general because we can all do something to make this different. But in general, our population is going in a place where our elders are looked at as burdens to the family, burdens to our community, because they don't, they're walking around. If they're walking, they're not really totally aware of their environment. There's all kinds of situations there, especially when the elders are, like, for instance, with their grandkids. The way their grandkids might be looking at them, if they're lucky enough to have grandkids, and being aware of how important that is in life, is to be able to enjoy your family with the mental capabilities and the enjoyment that is there. And unfortunately, what's happening today is that the kids, the grandkids, whatever kids younger than the elders, they look at their elders as burdens. And I know this is a harsh statement, but we're telling it like it is today, is that what's happening is, what would you have choices. You will always have choices. And as an elder or somebody who is associated and loves an elder, we all are in that boat. Everybody knows an elder if they're not one. And what will happen is that we can also take care of each other in such a way that that elder can actually be a joyful person. It can be somebody who, what's happening with the grandkids now is they're looking at grandpa and they're saying, he's over in the corner and not even in it, and they're just playing and almost ignored. And I see that happen so often. So that's the picture we're going to be painting, that it does not have to be that way.
Yeah, very well said, John. Well, let's talk about some of the reasons. What is the major reason why are we having this health crisis? And just before we do that, I was just going to say to our team member here, Juan, is there any way you can show the time so I can keep track of the time here? I don't see it on my screen, like how long we've been talking so far. If you can show me that, or just let me know if you can, that'd be helpful. Okay, John. So talk a little bit about why this has been happening. Why are we having so much on all this chronic illness and people becoming old and sick and
Yeah.
dying too young?
Where it probably started with is that we listen to authoritative figures. We listen to people who we think are experts in their field about how to take care of us. In this case, we're talking about our own personal health, which is, here's another thing that I think that we all need to realize, and we don't realize it until certain times in our life, but our health is the most important thing in our lives. It's more important than, any jobs, any trips, or any way you can, whatever whatever you're doing, it all is fundamentally dependent on your own personal health. And if you can get your own personal health in a place where you can enjoy all these things, like, when you're earlier years, when you're earning, um, that's the earning years, and your purpose is to take care of the family, husband and wife, or whatever it is when you're in your 30s and 40s, take care of yourself, whatever that might be. What it is your purpose will continually change. And as you do that, our unhealthy lifestyles have manifested from our earlier days, where we look at our healthcare system, we look at our doctors, we look at our voices of authorities to say, "Hey, you got an ailment? Oh, looks like you've gained a little weight, or your blood pressure is getting a little high. We've got to control that." Or you've got a situation here where um, your arteries are not really functioning the way they should, and so and they do tests. They do all kinds of tests on this. And what's happening here is they will give you the wrong information. The best healing is from within. It's your lifestyle habits that have you've created all your life. And if you can understand that your lifestyle habits are more powerful than your genetics. And what's happening is our healthcare system has said, "Oh, you've been dealt this blow. This is a tough blow for you. You've got high blood pressure. You've got a heart condition. You've got all these ailments. You've got type 2 diabetes because your mother had type 2 diabetes or your family had it. And it says it's in your genetics." Well, that's BS. And that does not really sit well with people who understand that the best healing is within yourself. And so what we were
Yeah.
is we were victims. We're basically that's where our unhealthy lifestyle has been created from, is that we have been victims of our healthcare society system.
Yeah, I just want to add. So, yeah, really what's happening is, and we're going to go through this when we go through our training on what you really need to do to create the healthy life habits. But really, it's because unfortunately our system is based on greed. It's their bottom line. Big pharma and big agriculture. They're just producing products so they can enhance their bottom line. They're not really concerned about your health. So it's really just eating unhealthy foods and taking all these medications and not getting enough movement. All these things is what contribute to this unhealthy uh, uh, thing that we have in America today. So, but the good thing about it, we can easily turn that around, and we're going to show you how you can do that today. So, John, let's give them a few stats here because these are important
Um,
to people so they understand that.
Real quick, Rico, I just want to add on to exactly what you just said. You and I, and this is a pretty bold statement, but it is the truth, is that you and I have decided somewhere along our lives that we would take 100% responsibility for who we are. And that is exactly what we've done, is for our health. No excuses. You don't have to have excuses. I mean, there are some factors that come in that you might not have an answer for, but when you take 100% responsibility for your life and instead of letting a doctor or someone else tell you, what to do when they know you and see you for maybe a half an hour a year, it's or an hour a year if you're even sicker, and you're in your body 24/7. And if you can take 100% responsibility for what you're doing,
Yeah.
like you and I have done, that there's the answer right there.
Yeah, well, let's go over these basic stats. I'll just read these real quickly so we'll get it through, so we can keep moving here. Number one is America's not even ranked in the top 20 in the world for quality of health or for longevity. Not even in the top 20 in the industrial world. Something's wrong there. And we know that at least 50% of Americans over 50 have at least one chronic ailment and are taking over 4 medications. And there was a latest, really a shocking study that John and I found, is that there's 5 things that almost 95% of people over 70 are unable to do, and that's to walk continuously for 30 minutes, to balance on one leg for 30 seconds, and they're not able to get up off the floor unassisted, and they can't easily lift 25 pounds off the floor. And as John said, they're not really feeling like they're living their life on purpose and intentional. So this is a kind of a sad situation. So I want you to know that if any of these are a problem for you or for your parents, but these goals are easy to accomplish. And as we go along, you're going to see how you can easily do that. So, John, let's real briefly let's talk about how you did become so passionate about the health crisis, and and talk about your life experiences. I talk about your golf game, and how you're becoming more excited about your life as you go.
Sure, I'd be very happy to do that. It's been a process. It's been a journey. It still is, to the point where I realized that when I lived my life and it was a happy life and a great life. And just eating the things I did, burgers and fries, fast food, leading a very energetic life. What I found out was, and this kind of went into my head to say, yeah, I enjoy this food now, but do I enjoy it 5 hours later? Or do I pay a price for eating something that I think is so tasty and delicious that, you know, that it's going to be that way all the time? Well, what happens is over time, you understand that, when I eat a salad, and, I didn't really like salads as much, but then I started liking them because I knew what it did for me. And then I started liking them even more. Is that what happens is that I felt great after that because gave it's as simple as just giving nutrition to your cells. And if you can do that and not give toxicity and toxic things into your body, then you've got it made. You've got it made where it can manifest and keep manifesting. So that little mindset of, hey, if I just put nutrition into my cells, keep out the bad stuff. And it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of not breaking habits as much as creating new ones. And
Yeah.
if you can create
Well,
new habits, yeah.
well, John, talk about, but I want you to talk about what you're able to do, what's your lifestyle right? How you feel how you're getting stronger and your golf game's getting better and all the things that you're able to do at your age of 75.
Yeah, thanks, Rico. It's because I've created a lot of good habits. And first thing in the morning, I meditate. I'm at one with myself and very quiet. And then from there, I'll do my exercises. I've got a routine. I'll drink my healthy coffee, which is just really, really tasty premium grade beans with cordyceps mushrooms. I love it. It tastes great because I know as I taste it and it's going down, it's going right to my cells, and that's a situation that makes me feel really good. I've got great energy. What I do then is I will get into what I'm doing here. You and I will be working on it, whatever we're doing, but I will get my exercise in, and it's only for me. And you are the expert at this, and you can really, just by leading by example, Rico, show us how we can really be our maximum selves as far as um, our best selves as far as exercise and what that means, movement and strength and really taking care of your body. And you've given me a lot. And so I continually do it, but the whole idea of all of this is just it's a cumulative thing. You just do something every single day, just keep getting better at what you're doing, and bingo, before you know it, you got results. So my golf swing, I swing my golf club at least without a club. I will do it in the mirror as part of my stretching exercises, 100 to 125 to maybe even 150 swings of getting into the correct positions. And then from there, I will take my golf club and swing with a weighted club. I'll swing another, oh, I don't know, maybe anywhere from 75 to 125 times over
But
a
the but the point is, your game is actually getting better as you age, right?
It is. It is.
That's right. So I know you tell me all the time that you're feeling stronger, you're feeling healthier, you're having more fun, you're doing better at your age. So that's why I want to let people to know about that. Okay, I've got a couple of stories for you that I think will be real important. But Juan, can you tell us how long we've been? I don't know how long we've been going on here. I need to keep track of the time.
Let's see. I think we got on for 18 minutes. We go. 18.
Just 18 minutes. Okay, so let me know. Keep letting me know where we are as time. So I want to tell you a couple of stories. Well, first about myself, my age now is 83, and every day I either go out and inline skate or rollerblading, I swim in the ocean, go on hiking, and I play drums in a rock and roll band, which takes a lot of energy. So I just say that just to illustrate, you know, there should be no limitations. You should be able to do whatever you enjoy doing, no matter what your age is. So that's what John and I are doing. So I just want you to let you know that what's possible. Again, you don't have to do any of the things that we do, but just be. We want you to be energetic and strong enough that you can do whatever you want to do and what you want to enjoy in your life.
Rico, I'm just trying to picture you going inline skating, going down where, let's just say Santa Monica Pier. I mean, there's a lot of inline skaters there, and seeing an 83-year-old guy, but you look about 43. I mean, you act like
Well,
40.
not,
You're actually
I
33.
act like it, yeah.
33.
I don't quite look like 43, but yeah, that's true. Well,
But
thank you,
see you
John. I
do
appreciate
online
that.
skating like, somebody in their 30s. And I'll give you another real quick story. I just got back from Hawaii. I played in the Hawaii State Amateur, which is their premium state amateur tournament, open to anybody. It's scratch. I qualified. I was the oldest guy by 12 years into this tournament. There's, 65 qualifier match play participants. You have to qualify for that. I qualified for that. My first match was against a 15-year-old. A 15-year-old, he had his golf pro with him, who was an outstanding teacher. He's also a golf coach. 15 years. So it was 15 times 5. I was 5 times older than he
Yeah.
was. And he beat me. He beat me 3-2, but he had to work hard for that. So it was a good match.
Yeah, that's so good. I've got a couple of interesting stories I want to tell you. You know, I've been a personal trainer for all these years, and one of my favorite stories is a client named Sarah, and she was in her 70s, I guess. I think it was that she fell and broke her hip, and so I guess her recovery wasn't going too well. So the doctors, they put her in this kind of a rehab assisted living place. And I think they were just a little too careful. You know, they're afraid of getting sued. So they were telling her, you got to take it easy. And they had her, she still was in a wheelchair and she was doing a walker, but they really weren't helping her progress. And so her son got a hold of me and said, can you help her? I said, sure. So when I went to see her, yeah, she was pretty down. You know, she was depressed. She wanted to go home and be an independent person. And I said, so the first part, as John always talks about, I had to change her mindset. I had to make her believe that you could do that. And so I got her inspired that she could do it. And then within several weeks and a couple of months, I got her doing exercise to strengthen her legs, to improve her flexibility. I would get her up and walk and say, here, I'm taking away your walker. You can do this. And with it, I think maybe 3 months, she was independent. She got to go home and she was back at home, moving, taking care of herself, taking care of her garden. So that's just an example of what's possible. You know, I've got a lot of people out of wheelchairs. So, excuse me, no matter what condition you're in, you can greatly improve it. So that's one of my favorite stories.
I love that. I love
Uh,
that, Rico. Oh, I want to add on one more thing onto that mindset.
excuse me.
The mindset that you just mentioned is because of our exercise, our way of you and I, how we think and leading by example, is that your mind is the one that really benefits from all this exercise. And we'll get into that a little bit more. And that's where we're talking about mindset. And that mindset, with the way that you and I, Rico, have really opened up our minds because it's exercised well and it's functioning at a very high level. At least I like to think that, and I do. So that's all.
Yeah, yeah,
Is that we use technology, and so that mindset that we keep talking about throughout our talk here is that shift. We can help people. We can help our audience right now get that mind shift with technology, where we have at least 3 major tools that make it almost automatic that we can help you, as long as we just put right, as we're doing right now, is saying all you need is a mindset shift. And that's where we can come in and help you
yeah.
get that mindset shift very easily.
Yeah, that reminds me to tell our audience to stay tuned to the last, because we got some great, valuable free gifts for you. And one of them is a mind enhancing, a brain strengthening tool that we'll let you know about as well. Yeah, so be sure and stay to the end. Okay, one more thing I wanted to say. I also had a client. He actually wrote a book called a Dud at 70 and a Stud at 80. And this guy, at 70, he was a mess. You know, I guess his wife died and he hadn't been taking care of himself and he was really out of shape and about ready to die. But his son came and lived with him for a while, who was a runner, and he got him running, you know. And then his son hired me to help him get in better shape as well. And so the guy just really got into it. And he actually started running marathons. Now I don't recommend running a marathon. That's a little extreme for you. But anyway, he started running marathons, and he actually held world records for people in their 80s and 90s on running marathons. So he actually wrote a book, A Dud at 70 and a Stud at 80. So I just can't show you what's possible. You can do whatever you want.
That's
Okay, so I just want to make sure that now that I hope you understand the urgency of this matter, you understand why it's happening, and that there are great solutions for you. So just in a minute here, we're going to go through a whole system. We're not going to leave you with just, here's the problem and here's what you need to do and good luck. We're going to show you actually what you really need to do. So we're going to go through this whole process that we've developed of the basic things that you can begin to do right now to actually reinvent yourself and redefine your life and live a much healthier, energetic life. So, John, just mention a little bit more about that. How you find this so exciting?
yeah. What I did, Rico, is it was an awareness thing, and when I started feeling, after I ate, for instance, and I'll use food because obviously everybody eats food, and everybody has a reaction from food, whether it's, oh man, this tastes so good, I can't wait to get another one of these, whatever it might be, or it's also said, oh man, I had a great meal last night. I ate too much and I'm paying the price right now. And so, what it was a kind of a gradual thing. I said, I got to eat better because I know what it does to me. It's an awareness of my own body. And so, as I did that, what happened was, I come from the corporate world and we used to go out on dinners. It was on the company. And what happened with that was not in our best interest. And it's so common to so many of us is that if somebody else is paying for it, you order up. What we did is, and we got into a habit of doing this because we are, very fortunate to have a very successful company, and we were all, doing quite well. And so we would celebrate, and by celebrating, that's another thing too, is we celebrate birthdays, we celebrate whatever it is that 50th anniversary, 20th anniversaries, or whatever it is, we will celebrate with food that unfortunately is not the best for us, but that's all right. We have to experience that. We have to go through that. It's just being aware that where that's taking you. And that's probably the key to all this because we had so much fun ordering drinks before we even almost before we
Yep,
sat down. We would order appetizers. It was a free wheel. Just order up.
yep,
And then it was a habit. And then we would order, a big entree. And after that, we'd
yeah.
have dessert and an after dinner drink. And that got to be a habit. And a lot of people, reacted at whatever time they did to that lifestyle, and it
Yeah,
wasn't.
we're going to talk about that when we talk about the food, John. We'll talk about that when we get into the food. Okay, so Juan, let's go ahead and put up the slides and John, how long have we been going on now? I really need to know the time, you guys.
Okay, we've been going on for 27 minutes.
Okay, we're a little bit behind, so we got to get moving here. Oh, good, perfect. Okay, here we go, you guys. So once again, I just want to let you know that we're not leaving you just with all this information, but we're going to show you now exactly what you need to do and how you can easily do to develop some great lifestyle habits that's going to really transform your life. So the very first slide is just the title. It's called Be Bold and Never Be Old, and how you can look and feel 10 to 20 years younger in just 90 days. All right, let's go to the next slide. Okay, just real briefly, my story. You see, I've been doing this for about 7 years. This says chronological age 76, but I'm actually 83, and my fitness age is still 35. So just to let you know that I've been fortunate to be a personal trainer and a health coach for 43 years, and in that time, I've been able to work with all ages and all different type of clients of different fitness levels and different ages with different health challenges. And I can assure you, no matter where you're at, no matter what your age, no matter what condition you're in, you just got to begin today. There's no better time. You got to start right now. And you can definitely not only prevent and reverse a lot of premature aging, but you can get into the best shape of your life and you can enjoy your life, really all of your life. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so here's an important thing that I think that's real important to understand. And I don't ever hear anybody else talking about this. You know, we hear so much about anti-aging all the time, right? But I actually think that's the wrong message because you really can't stop aging. Aging is a natural process. One year you're 40, then you're 41, you're 42. And if you look up the definition of aging, aging means to become fully mature, to reach your full potential, like fine aged wine. That's good. We're here to age. But old's another story. Old means to be worn out, used up, unexcited about your life, unable to care for yourself. And guess what? Being old is just is a choice. It's a state of your mind and a state of your body, and those are both choices: how you care for your mind and how you care for your body. So as we go through this, I'm going to show you how. I'm going to prove to you why you never have to be old. Any comments on that, John?
Yeah, I would like to throw in again mindset. And I ask myself three questions, and I ask it of anybody. And these three questions are key to basically this slide. And what you're saying here is, who are you? You know, what is that awareness about how you are aging, or are you old? Are you aging? What's your story? And so if you look at yourself and say, who are you? That's self-awareness. Where do you want to go? What's your future going to look like if you continue on what you're doing that may or may not be in your best interest? So these are basic questions: is where do you want to go? You know, who are you? Where do you want to go? And the third question you can ask yourself is, how are you going to get there? And
Yeah,
and we can definitely help in that situation, because the how is can be tricky, but it's those first two questions that you have to know where you're going.
that's right. So good, John. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So again, now I'm going to give you the proof of why we say you never have to be old. Okay, next slide, please. Well, we have scientific proof. You know, science now tells us that our genetic potential is to stay healthy to age 125. 125, that means our life's expectancy, our lifespan could be 125, but yet we know now in America, our life expectancy is only about 76 for men and 79 for women. So we'd always like to say, what's wrong with this picture? You know, most people are missing out on 30, 40, maybe even 50 years of good living. And so the other proof of this, you may have heard of, there's areas around the world called the blue zones. And these are areas where routinely the majority of the community does live to be at least 100, and they stay healthy, they take care of themselves. And so there's living proof. There's living proof that you never have to be old. So that's we really want to drive that into your psyche, that you have to get rid of that narrative that everybody's going to get old and sick and die young. No. So you got to change it. As John says, you got to change your mindset. So I hope we've proven to you now that it's proven by science and by actual people that you never have to be old, and you can stay much healthier and energetic all of your life.
And I just want to add on to that too, Rico, is that you just said that we here in America, 76 years old for men is our life expectancy. I'll be 76 next month. And I see this slide and it says healthy to age 125. And I'm thinking, oh man, that's great. I got another 50 years of life going. If I feel this way now, I can feel this way for another 50 years if I do the right things. And it's just, you know, with that mindset of saying that's outrageous, because let's just say you get another person who says 76, they're 76, and I've seen this unfortunately a lot, is if I feel this way at 76, I can't even imagine what I'm going to feel like at 80. So, you know,
Yeah,
where are you
yeah.
going? If you make changes, yeah, you can feel great at 80 years old. But if you feel the way you do now and you don't have that change in your life, then yeah, it's only going to get worse. So it's up to you.
Absolutely, a really great point. Okay, let's go to the next slide. And this is really where, so the number one cause, we've already been talking about this, of becoming old is, next slide, please, is your mindset. It's a story that you've been telling yourself. So again, I just want to mention again, you know, if you buy into that mainstream social narrative that that's just the way it is, we're all going to get old, and maybe end up in a nursing home, And that's just the way it is. If you buy into that, then that's what you're going to create, as we'll see just in a little bit, because your beliefs and your thoughts create your reality. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit too. So what do you want to add to that, John?
Nothing. Just keep going. Run
Yeah.
away. I love
Okay.
it.
Well, the other thing I do want to add one more thing. Well, no. That's no. I'm sorry. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, what I wanted to add to that last one was, we've heard a lot about, used to hear a lot about fake news all the time, right? This is fake news. Well, the real fake news that you have to be concerned about is not on TV. It's what's the stories you're telling yourself in your mind about what's possible in your life and what's probably going to happen to you. That's the fake news, because most of all these stories you're telling yourself about, well, it's probably going to happen to me, or my grandfather had heart disease and I might get it too. If you buy into all that kind of stuff, then that's probably what you're going to create. So, but you're just making that up. That doesn't have to be true for you. So that's the fake news you got to watch out for.
Let's talk a little bit more about that fake news, because it's in our political system today, and whatever we hear is what we believe, if that's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And for instance, something as commonsensical as make America healthy again, make
Yeah.
America healthy again, conjures up all kinds of things for whatever person is saying, make America healthy again. Are you kidding me? That that's so political, that's ridiculous, et cetera, et cetera. No, it doesn't have to be that way. When you just take those four words and you say, how about making yourself healthy again? What's wrong with that picture? Nothing.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. All right, real quick, I'll just read. We hear so much about wellness all the days, so I want to give you what our definition of real wellness is. It's about being in balance. It's having a feeling of well-being in mind, body, and spirit. It's having a fit, energetic body and mind, free of dis-ease, while enjoying a high level of emotional and social well-being. And real wellness also includes the health of our planet and all of our inhabitants. All right, let's go to the next slide. And so, as John mentioned, we don't really have a healthcare system. We have a sick care system. So, a real wellness system is one that actually educates us, how to be healthy, how to avoid disease, not just how to treat it if we actually have some problems. So that's what a real wellness healthcare system, and that's what we're talking about here today. All right, next slide. So again, why is wellness so important? Well, again, if you just take the time to think about it, no matter what's important in your life, what you want to accomplish, what you want to experience, uh, it takes a lot of energy and it takes a lot of good health to be highly successful in every aspect of your life. And I don't know, everybody wants to be successful, right, John? Everybody wants to be successful in your business, in your relationships, or whatever you're doing. But how can you be highly successful if you don't have a strong, healthy, energetic body? And you don't live long enough to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Yep, that's right. And we're all on this planet. And I strongly believe this is we're here to lead a joyful journey. It's not about the destination, it's not about where we're going to end up. It's about how we are living our life. And this is so important. Why wellness is so important. It's energy. It's having the energy to really enjoy life.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to the next slide. I want to talk a little bit about challenges. Well, I'm not going to go through them. We all know that we're facing a lot of these really, really big challenges. And that, as we mentioned earlier, that's one of the reasons we need you to stay healthy and energetic, so you can help solve and give your knowledge and wisdom back to help solve some of these challenges. All right, let's go to the next slide.
I'm gonna interject one more thing into that last slide, Rico. We won't go over all of it, but these are all things that can contribute to your situational health and where you are with your health. And since we're talking directly about health, it's our healthcare system is it's healthcare system versus your lifestyle. And when you take 100% responsibility with that mindset shift that says, I can control everything about my body, about my mind, body, and spirit. I am the one responsible for that, no excuses, then you can really make some one step at a time, and we can definitely guide you along that path. You can make some tremendous inroads to being a very healthy you.
Absolutely. Okay, let's go to the next slide. I think this is important because you may be thinking, well, it's a pretty big challenge to, to really take responsibility for my health and all these things, and I'm so busy and all this stuff. Yes, it is a big challenge. It's pretty challenging to be a human being, isn't it, John?
It's a real
Yeah,
challenge.
life is challenging, but that's what we're here for, to have challenges. If we didn't have challenges, it wouldn't be any fun or it wouldn't be of interest. We wouldn't even want to be here. And so I'm sure you've all heard the saying that our challenges are truly our blessing, because our big challenges offer big successes and big rewards. And it doesn't matter what your challenge is, but as long as you step up and take responsibility to meet your challenges, it's going to elevate your life. And I just want to talk real briefly about my big challenge. I've never had a challenge as far as health goes, but I just want to let you know that I grew up stuttering. And when you stutter, the last thing you ever think you're going to be is a public speaker, right? Is to go out and speak or give presentations. And so as I aged, I didn't stutter as much, but I still stuttered, And so when I wrote my main book, Ageless Living, in the year 2000, all the marketing and media people would say, "Well, Rico, this is your project. You got great information. You're the model for it. You got to get out and speak and get your message out to the world." And I go, "Are you kidding me? Me be a speaker?" Again, the last thing you think you'll ever be when you stutter is a public speaker. So I just totally resisted it. There's no way I can do that. But then I realized, I'm telling my fitness clients, "Hey, come on, you can meet this challenge. You can do this." But then I wasn't meeting my big challenge, So I just stepped into my fear. Also, I just want to mention, I don't know why this is, but when you ask people what are the biggest fears they have, public speaking is like right up there, like number 3, next to dying or whatever. And I said, how come? If you can speak well, why do you? I know why I fear speaking, because I couldn't speak very well. But so I just stepped into my fear and just started going to speaking classes, and I just kept working on it and working on it. And so here I am now. I don't proclaim to be a great speaker, but at least I can speak and get my message out to the world. But that was tough. That was really hard for me to. So I just want to give you an example. No matter what you feel, you're fearing, or whatever you think your challenge is, you just step into your fear. And I know John can vouch for this. When you actually meet your fear and step into it, it diminishes, it goes away. But if you avoid your fear, it just follows you around. Right, John?
Absolutely, Rico. And that's such a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that, because to be a stutterer, and then I'd love you to take it maybe a little step further and just kind of take it a little bit of a part about how successful, because you are extremely successful about where you are right now, doing what you've done, over 300 podcasts. You speak in master classes, you speak as a guest host, you speak a lot of places so eloquently. Yeah, it's always a work in progress, but you do such a great job. Tell the audience what you did. Is you were in a place where you were stuttering. It was very difficult to communicate, and then you created this vision of where you wanted to be, where you wanted to take it, and you said, "Okay, that's what I want to do." But it's not the easiest path. I mean, it can't be as easy as just saying, "Yeah, I'm going to be there." Tell us what happened and what your challenges were along the way, and how you, like you said, you fought them head on, but maybe a little more detail on that.
Well, just real briefly, you know, whenever you have some fear and something that you're trying to avoid and you don't want to do, but you realize that if you are going to be successful and you are going to live your purpose and you are going to make a difference in the world and do something of value, you have to just step up. And I guarantee you, almost all the highly successful people have had to go through some big challenges to get to where they are, no matter what they were. So for me, I just said, well, again, what really pushed me was because I was telling my clients, you can meet this challenge, you can do this, and I wasn't meeting my big challenge. So I just said, I got to do this. And as hard as it was, I can still remember, John, the first time standing up in front of to speak first time to a group, I was sweating and my heart was pounding, and I know I didn't do very well, but but when you go to a group like that, they're supportive. They clap for me, and they go. I said, "Shit, maybe I can do this," and I just kept working on it. And after a while, just no matter what, you just get better, and it just happens for you. So that's just encouragement, and maybe it can inspire you no matter what you're going on. So we got to keep moving here. So let's go to the next slide. But thanks, John. I appreciate that.
That's outstanding. Thank you.
Okay, we've already talked about some facts, so let's skip this one. And so, as we've been talking to you, it's all about your lifestyle. So let's go to the next slide. And so, the ageless living lifestyle that we've developed, and we told you our slogan too, is aging is natural, growing old is not. Let's go to the next slide. These are all. Oh, this was just something we stuck in there. This is not quite the lifestyles we're talking about. The guy sitting on drinking a beer. Okay, yeah, let's go to the next slide. So again, we're all about making the second half of your life better than your first. Yeah, John just mentioned something about that real briefly. That this is actually possible because you've been doing that.
Yes, yes, I have. And being at 75, almost 76, thinking that at 38 years old, half my age, the second half, it was a, family stuff, work, all those things, not getting enough sleep, bad, not a very good diet, all that stuff was a learning experience. And what it did was, I'll never give back because we can't anyways, what I've done in my past to the point where it's a learning experience. And making your second half of life better than your first is, again, a mindset shift that
Mhm.
says, why not? You have a choice. We have everything that we do has a choice. You can either say yes or no, or you can say, I want to be better the second half of my life than my first half. And if you had a great first half, it can even be better the second half.
Yeah, well said. And so again, we know you can do it. All right, let's go to the next slide. We're almost getting ready to where we're talking about. So again, we just want to let you know that you can look and feel your best all of your life, no matter what your age. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so now we're going to get into really what you need to do. And first of all, again, how are we doing on time, John? How long we been going on now?
We have been going on for 47 minutes.
47 minutes. That's perfect. Okay. Oh, there's the big truck outside. Oh, because could you hear that horn block? Anyway, okay. So
Oh,
here's the thing. I know that we're all really busy, right? Everybody's busy, no matter what your age or what you're doing, and there's so many things that take your attention. And so I realized that in order for people to actually take control of their life and develop this new lifestyle and these new healthy habits, it had to be something that would not take a lot of time, had to be easy, and they all could be things that you could easily incorporate into your busy lifestyle. So what I came up with, there's 7 essentials of life, really. And here's the cool thing about this is that these are things that we're already doing just to stay alive. We're using our brain. We're thinking what we're going to do. We have to breathe. We have to drink water. We have to eat food. We have to eliminate the waste products. We have to move our body, and we have to get rest. So those are all the things you're already doing, but you were never taught really how to master those things. Those are not things we're taught in school. And so you're doing these things, but you're not doing it to the best of your ability. So it just makes sense to me that if we could just show you how you can tweak these things and how you can improve each one of those areas of your life that you're already doing, but just do them in a little bit better way, it's going to make a huge difference in your life and how healthy you're going to be, how long you're going to live, and how successful you're going to be. That sound good, John?
that sounds great. And again, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be offering some free gifts that will give you that next step. For instance, in your belief, for instance, in your breath, drink, eat, eliminate, move, and rest. These are all lifestyle habits that we can help you create that first step, and we will give you action plans. And for instance, let's just say you have, one of the free gifts that we're offering is if anybody has any migraine headaches, and I've known people who've had migraines for 20, 30, 40 years, And I don't know how they can handle it, but it gets normalized, unfortunately. And it's just a way of life for them. It doesn't have to be that way. And we're going to give you some um, a blueprint to really help you understand that whatever ails you, your body is only as strong as your weakest link. And in
Hmm.
this case, it's migraine headaches, for instance. And we will touch on arthritis. We can give you things that will help you with arthritis, or we will give you things that will help you with whatever ails you. Um, we have free gifts for that, but we're just going to tease you with, a couple of them for right now.
Okay, let's go on to the next slide, please. Okay, so again, it's really about asking the right questions because these days we pretty much have a lot of answers for a lot of things that are going on these days. You can find out just about anything you want to know about from Google or YouTube, or now we're using AI. So it's just there's no excuse for not getting educated and not taking action on what you need to accomplish in your life. And so it's just about asking these right questions. It's about asking these questions about what we just went over, but what we're going to go over, what are you doing for in each one of these areas? So let's go to the next slide.
Yeah, just to touch on that one too,
Sure.
each one of us has the answer, the right questions. We have the answers within us. That
Hmm.
is where, especially when we're talking about health, everything is to just know this basic fundamental thing, the best healing. And yeah, well, you can use all the help you can, the technology, you can use that. You can use, our healthcare system for whatever you can get that's good out of that is to know that when your body takes over on the inner healing, that is absolutely the best way that you can be your optimal healthy self.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go to the next slide. So, our ageless living lifestyle uh, a training system is really breaking into three different categories. And one is called the clear strategy. This is your mental emotional, and this is the foundation for everything else that you're going to do in your life. So we don't need to go through all those, but it's choosing to take responsibility, loving yourself unconditionally, emotions that are focused on the permanent results, taking action consistently, and realizing what's truly important in your life. All right, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so here's the number one thing that we've been talking about, and John's really been stressing about. It's really it's everything begins in our mental emotional state. So this is something that we should all have been taught when we're really small kids, that our beliefs, our thoughts, our words, our feelings are creating our reality. And that's something that we have to really be clear on, because it's so true, because everything we know from quantum physics now is everything in the universe is energy, including our physical body, including our thoughts, our words. Everything is energy, and all energy fields affect all other energy fields. So whatever you're believing and what you're thinking and what you're saying about your life create your feelings, and we're feeling beings. So the emotions that you're having and the feelings that you're having are creating the actions that you take. And of course, the actions that you take are creating your reality. But here's the good thing, and we'll have John add his thing. But here's the beautiful thing about this. You can believe anything that you want, right? You can think what you want. You can say what you want. You have control over that. So ask yourself, why would I ever want to have any negative beliefs or say negative things about myself, or have all these thoughts that are not productive, that aren't serving me? Why would you want to do that? So what you need to do whenever you catch yourself with any kind of a negative belief or a negative thought, or you're saying negative things or not things that are not good about yourself, just got to catch yourself and delete it and say, get back and just focus on what's all the best things that you want to accomplish in your life. And then that's will be the reality that you have the best chance of creating that reality. And it goes back to that old saying of Henry Ford, whether you believe you can or can't do something, you're right. So it's so important to get a handle on your beliefs, your thoughts, and your words. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to add to that, John?
Yeah, that's so good, Rico. And you lead by example because you exemplify what you're saying right here. And a good example of that is you and I, as we been doing this and really trying to support others in their health. is at one time I remember I said, "Yeah, who wants to? You got to listen to a couple of old old farts here telling her their story." And you said, "No, we are not old farts. We are, smart, uh, fragrant, very
Vital.
learned elders who can really throw out some wisdom out there." So it all comes from your head. And since then, Rico, and this is the first time I ever said it again, was I don't refer to myself as what I just said.
That's good. Very good, John.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go on. Okay, so I just think this is an important slide. It's there's really only two emotions when it comes down to it. There's love and there's fear. And the best definition of love that I've ever came up with is it's about oneness being fully expressed. That means that we're all here together. We're all the same. We're all one with our Creator. We're all one with each other. And if we could ever begin to really stay in the emotion of love, everything could be so much a wonderful life for everybody. We would be a much healthier. We could be more prosperous, and we could enjoy each other so much more. So basically, you're either in love or you're in fear. And fear is just visualizing what you don't want. That's the thing is worrying about something that hasn't even happened. And so you're visualizing something that you don't want. So you don't want to do that. So here's the thing. If if anytime you find yourself uh, feeling unhappy or unhealthy, or you're angry or you're upset or you're complaining, you're in fear. So you got to get out of that state. But anytime you feel joyful, you feel intentional, you feel purposeful, you feel excited about your life, then you're in love. So the whole point is you want to stay in love and get out of fear. So let's go to the next slide, Johnny.
Okay, before
You
you
can
do
talk.
that, I'm just going to throw out some of your 83-year-old young wisdom, Rico. And love versus fear, you are very much, I've heard you say this many a time, is, peace. We need all of us needs peace in the world. That's
Mm-hmm.
what we live on is peace. And this is the simple formula to peace. Love versus fear equals peace. When you have love, you've got peace. When you have fear, you have war. Simple
Yeah,
as that.
exactly right. That's exactly right. All of our things that we don't really want or like are all based on fear. And so it's just about being awareness, whether we're in the state of fear or we're in the state of love. And if you want to be healthy, you want to be wealthy, you want to be successful, you want to enjoy your life, you want to feel fulfilled, all these things, John, you got to be in the state of love. That's it. That comes down to real simple stuff.
Well said.
Okay, so the next thing to support that, and John's already talked about this, so we won't dwell on this, but the key to getting inspired and staying motivated and never being old is to find your purpose and be living your purpose. Because when you're living your purpose, then you're excited about your life, and you want to get up every day and do whatever that you do to make a difference in the world. And you want to live as long as you possibly can. But you got to have a healthy, energetic body to do that. So again, what we're teaching you is that's the foundation for accomplishing whatever you wanted to accomplish in your life. But you won't do it if you're not living on purpose. So it's so important to find your purpose. And I'll just say real briefly, and John can add what he wants. But basically, your purpose is whatever that you know you're good at and other people tell you you're good at and that you enjoy doing and that it can impact other people's life in a positive way. That's a good outline to discover what your purpose is. Yeah, what do you want to add there, John?
Sure is, Rico. Yeah, they do studies on this about purpose, and they do studies on people, having regrets in life. And
Mm-hmm.
when you're on
Yeah.
your deathbed, if you say, you're asked a question, what would you have done differently if you had lived the life that you wanted to live? And basically, the very number one thing, it's not, I wish I had worked more. Of course, that's not a regret. And I wish I had, done this, and this. Well, what it really is, the number one people regret that they have is, I wish I had lived my life authentically and as true to myself as I possibly could. Because so many of us are living other people's, what their impression is of us. And when we can live our true authentic self for good, that is our purpose. That is our real purpose, is to find out who you really are, because we're all on this planet for a unique divine reason. And when we can discover that, life gets pretty dang good.
Yeah, well said, John. That's exactly right. And once again, I want to emphasize the good news is you can do it. You just have to make up your mind to do that. That's it. There's no excuses. It's a choice. You can do it. So you just got to go and do it. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so this is just real quick. Everybody'd like to be powerful, right? Well, it's real simple. You want to be powerful? Just be responsible. Take responsibility for everything in your life, and then you're powerful. You know, if you are complaining about what's going on in your life and you're blaming it on the government or the economy or other people, then you're a victim. You give up your power. Why do you want to do that? You don't want to be a victim. You want to be powerful. So just take responsibility for everything in your life, what we've been talking about, and you'll be a powerful person and you'll live a powerful life.
Rico, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Here, I have a
Okay?
question for you on this, and it seems so simple. Is as simple as this slide says, is if you take 100% responsibility for your actions as a person, no excuses, why don't people do that?
Well, I think it's just that, you see, we're not taught these basic, all the things that we really need to know to live a successful, healthy life. We're not taught. We're just not taught those things, you know. I don't know, somehow, you know, because of our, I don't know, our societal systems, you know, where we have all these, some people at the top and they're doing really well, and most people are struggling, not doing too well. So most people don't really feel like they're powerful, or they have the opportunity to be really successful in their life. So we need to teach these principles to our young people from the, and you know, some of the most successful, powerful people in the world were really fortunate to have parents that taught them these principles. And I've heard people say that they taught them that they could accomplish anything, and that they could be powerful. But the mass of people aren't taught that. So if you're not taught that, you just kind of go along with what everybody else is doing. You just kind of accept the norm. So
That's
you don't want to be normal. Normal's not too good.
Yeah, and that's really good, Rico, is that it's really a belief in yourself, that you can give yourself maximum self-love. And that's a growing thing. As you do the right things, to make yourself, feel more energetic, more powerful, more, alive. And what that is, it's a belief that you can do that. And we
Yeah,
can all do that. We are all capable of that. And what it really emanates from is loving yourself in such a way that you do believe in yourself.
yeah, exactly right. I just want to add to that real quick is that I think most people believe in a life hereafter. They believe in a creative force, uh, God, what may call God. And so God is known to be all about love. And God created each of us in love. So if God loves you, why are you not loving yourself? That doesn't make too much sense, right? Because God loves you, so you better love yourself. All right, let's go to the next slide here. Okay, now we're going to get into, okay, so we spent quite a bit of time on that first area, but that's the foundation, your mindset, changing all these things and believing what you're capable of. And so now we're getting into the physical area of what you can do to create these healthy habits. And so I call this the care strategy: connecting to your body, appreciating your body, respecting your body, and enjoying your body. All right, next slide. Okay, so number one, the most, I like to ask people, what's the most important thing in your life? And they go, well, I want to do this. I said, no, it's oxygen. We can only live for about 4 minutes without it. So just think about that. If there's one thing that we can only live for about 4 minutes without it, don't you think that we should learn a little bit more about it? We should focus on that a little bit more. So here's the thing. Most pain and most fatigue in the body is due to lack of oxygen. And so, but again, we're not even taught how to breathe when we're young people, you know. So So one of the best things that we can possibly do for your health and your vitality and for your longevity is to get more oxygen into your body. And it's real simple. Our breath is our biggest tool that we have. So if you can see, here's our lungs. Most of the time we're sitting here, we're just barely breathing like this, barely breathing because our breath is controlled by our autonomic nervous system. We don't have to think to breathe. But if we think about breathing, then we can breathe well. We can do deep abdominal breathing, fill up our whole lungs. So let me just show you again, if you haven't heard this, the basic breath that you can easily do throughout your day. It's just called deep abdominal breathing or belly breathing. So as you breathe in through your nose, you relax your abdominal muscles and your belly will actually stick out. So you breathe all the way down into your stomach. That means you're filling up your lungs all the way. And then as you exhale, you pull those stomach muscles in, and that presses against your lungs and pushes all the old stale carbon dioxide out of your lungs. So that's just deep abdominal breathing. So whenever you can think about it, take some nice deep breaths and get more oxygen into your body. And here's the other thing is our breath, again, it's our best tool. If you're feeling kind of down, kind of tired, a little groggy or something, then take some real strong breaths like it's called the breath of fire in yoga, and that will energize you. That'll wake you up and energize you. On the other hand, if you're feeling kind of hyper and agitated and all upset and all this, you need to slow down, then do that slow, nice breathing, like maybe breathe in 4 counts, hold it for a few counts, and breathe out maybe 8 or 12 counts, nice and slow. That'll calm you right down. So your breath is our best tool that we have for so many things. So again, you can go on YouTube. There's so many people there will show you how to do different breathing for different things, yoga breath, all different kind of breathing. So we highly encourage you to make getting more oxygen and breathing well throughout your day. That's going to be, nothing can improve your health and well-being better than that.
Wow, that was really well said, Rico, because when you say breathe, that is as simple as it gets to really appreciate living in the present time. When you can breathe, that's and just take everything out and just focus on your breath and to be able to do the ways that you just told us. There's so many variations of that, but they all can work. And what you're doing is you're taking yourself within yourself. And this is God's gift. This is his miracle to us, is to really create the human design in which we can actually not only breathe, but we can be in present time doing that. Everything in the past, everything in the future does not make a difference when you can really be still with yourself and just concentrate on your breath. For me, this journey has been, breathing. How simple is that, man? I do that all the time subconsciously. Well, when you get a little bit of mindset into it and
Mm-hmm.
really put yourself in a place where you are living in the present time, and just by concentrating and getting the stillness of your breath, then what happens is the universe will actually give you more. If you want to call it God, if you want to call it, the higher power, is that gives you an ability to really accentuate yourself as you have more awareness of who you
Yeah.
are just by breathing. So one thing I say throughout the day, and I learned this from another friend, is don't forget to breathe. As simple
Yeah.
as that. Don't forget to breathe.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing, well, again, I just want to add that our breath really also is our connection to our higher self, our spirit. So one thing can help you is just maybe put a little tick. Well, that's kind of outdated, a little sticky notes, but you could put one on your computer or someplace where you see it. Just put breathe, and it'll remind you. Oh yeah, take a little time out and breathe. Okay,
I'll show you. I'll show you another real quick. A graduating way of breathing is laughter. Laughter is
yeah,
something. When we were young, when we were whatever, 0 to 10, we would laugh about 300 times. There's science behind this.
yeah,
And as we, move on in life, our laughter starts diminishing. And by the time we're full-blown adults, whatever age that might be, we're only laughing about 20 times a day. If we can actually be conscious that, hey, this is funny, let's laugh about it. Or even if you have to force the laughter, that's all right because you're breathing. You're getting that high quality breath going on, and pretty soon it becomes very natural.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go to the next slide. Okay, drink. So the next thing that we can only live maybe several days without is water, of course. And so you've got to stay hydrated. So first of all, we hear so many different things. It's kind of controversial. How much water should I drink? These many liters and all that. And so what I recommend, I mean, we're all different. We're different in body composition and size, how much we exercise, we sweat, all those kind of things. So our diets and all that. So here's what I recommend is just make sure that you keep some filtered, clean water with you at all times, and keep drinking regularly throughout your day. Every hour, you should have at least a cup of water or more. And so if you actually get a little bit thirsty, if you get thirsty, that means you're already a little bit dehydrated. So just keep drinking throughout your day, and you'll probably be fine. And also, we'll get into when we get to the food in a minute here, eat as much, juicy fruits and vegetables, and that really hydrates you really well too. But basically, just keep drinking. Our bodies are 70% water, our brains 80% water, so you've got to stay hydrated. So many people are really dehydrated, so that's really important one. So
Yeah.
keep drinking throughout your day.
I
All
like
right.
to add on to that too, because that is so basic, so fundamental. By the way, we are at the 70-minute mark, Rico. Just
Oh, we are? Uh-oh, we got to hurry up then, so we got time to finish here. So we'll have to go through this a little bit quicker here. So the next one, again, a real simplified. The next one we have to eat, right? Now, nutrition is a complicated, it's a complicated subject, and we're all biochemically unique. We do better on different foods and different things. So what I really recommend, if you really want to get a handle on your food, get some help, get some coaching from a qualified nutritionist or a naturopathic doctor, or from us, or someone that knows what to do, can help you design a food program that's going to work best for you. But basically, what everybody can do to really greatly improve their overall health and well-being and energy levels is just eat a diet of real food. My first book I wrote in 1995, Real Food, Real Fast, which is my best-selling book so far. It's was how to make healthy fast food. But the key word is real. If you just make the vast majority of your diet real, and that's organic fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some healthy grains, and I believe in eating some healthy animal products if that suits you as well. But the main thing is real food is what's produced in nature. It doesn't come in a package. You don't have to worry about reading the label and worry about if you're getting all these additives and all this kind of stuff. Just eat real food. That's real simple,
yes.
like you see on the screen there. That makes it real simple for nutrition. And I know John's want to add something, but real quickly, I want to say is there's some eating awareness techniques that are so important. It's not only what you eat, but how you eat. First of all, slow down and enjoy your food. And just when you eat, just eat. Don't be distracted. Don't be looking at TV. Don't be looking at your phone. Enjoy your food. Bless your food, and say that this food is going to improve my health and my nutrition. It's going to be digestible. So slow down, chew your food well, eat slowly, and then you won't overeat, and you'll have better digestion. And so again, I came up with a diet to end all diets. It's called the 8-word diet. Eat a variety of whole organic foods daily. That's it. That's the diet you should be on. Real quick, what do you want to add there, John?
I want to keep it real simple and keep it very theme oriented about love. Love what you eat as long as it loves you back. It's as
All
simple
right.
as that.
That's really good, John. All right, to the next slide. So we got to kind of speed up a little bit here. Okay, elimination. Obviously, we got to get the waste products out of our body, but you won't. Okay, ideally, you should have 2 to 3 good bowel movements every day, or at least one. If you're not, you are definitely uh, constipated, and that's not a good sign. So you need to get a handle on that. But if you do all the things that we're recommending here today, that should be not a problem at all. So let's go to the next slide.
And if you eat what we showed in that last picture, and I know we're moving along quickly, is there is nothing more satisfying than a great bowel movement because
Okay, let's go to the next slide, John.
all right, let's move on, Nico.
Yeah. Okay, so this one is Move it or lose it. Move it or lose it. You know, I kind of changed my thing to talk about movement now instead of exercise. Some people have a I don't know, they don't like the word exercise. They have a little bit of something against it. But anyway, you just have to move your body on a regular basis. This is an important thing to let people know. There was a recent study. They had two control groups. It was based on weight loss. And the one control group, they said, we want you to exercise real intensely for an hour every day. The other group, they said, you don't have to do any formal exercise. Just keep moving. Don't sit too long at once. Keep moving throughout your day. Just move, get up and do this and do that and walk and move and do this. And guess what? At the end of the study, the people who just moved lost more weight than the people who exercised real intensely. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to go to a boot camp. You don't got to beat yourself up. You just got to keep moving. So real quickly, you need to do some type of aerobic exercise every day, or just walk or swim or ride a bike or dance. Do something that moves your body, get your heart rate up. Do that every day. Next, for strength training, you need to do some form of a resistance training, whether it's just basic push-ups or a resistance band or something, maybe 2 to 3 times a week. And number 3, you need to stretch your muscles and connective tissue every day. It doesn't take long. I teach my clients just 15 minutes a day. Get down on the floor before you go to bed and do these basic 7 stretches that I teach. And you'll stay flexible, you'll sleep better, and you'll never be walking around with your all bad posture and you can't move very well. So it's really quite simple. You just got to do the basic things and just got to be consistent on a regular basis. All right, next slide. So exercise excuses, I'm not going to go through this today, but the biggest one is I don't have time, and that's really BS. Being a personal trainer all these years, I've worked with highly successful people, CEOs, and I can guarantee you that some of the busiest, most successful people take time to exercise because they know it's going to help them to be more successful. And aside from the fact how much better they're going to look and they're going to feel. So don't use that as an excuse. That's a really bad excuse. All right, let's go to the next one. Rest, R&R. Okay, ideally, our bodies function optimally if you get 12 hours of activity and 12 hours of rest and relaxation. Now, in the rest and relaxation, we need to get at least 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, but then we need to take some time out, maybe 3 or 4 hours of just letting go and unplugging and do something that you really enjoy. Get out in nature, play some golf, or, listen to music, play music. Just do something relaxing, because that's so important. See, that's one of the big reasons that we have all this chronic illness, because people are so stressed out, they're so rushed that they never unplug, they never let go. That's why they can't sleep very well. Again, think about this. This is your life is right now today. So each day you need to get activity, and you need to have some relaxation and some enjoyment. Take time to be in balance. Enjoy your life every day, because we never know how long we're going to live, right, John?
That's right. That's right. Balance is so key. Gotta have.
Gotta have it. Okay, let's move on. We're almost there, you guys. And this is my favorite one of all. John and I talked about laughing. It's fun. Here's another great story for you. Quite a long time ago, they did a study of centenarians. These are people who live to be 100 and are still pretty functional. And so one of the questions they asked them was, why do you think that you live so long and you're still pretty healthy? And over 95% of them said, because I enjoyed my life. I had fun. I wasn't all stressed out. They had fun. They enjoyed their life. So actually, if you would ask me, what is, of all these things we've just gone through, these basic 8 essentials of life, I would recommend this. If you didn't do any of the other ones, of course, you got to breathe, but if you just enjoy your life and have fun and slow down, I think that's going to make you the healthiest and live the longest of all.
Yeah, so true, Rico. And it's really getting these habits that you love to do. Like, when you're playing in your band, I can see you have so much fun doing that. And when
Yeah.
I'm playing golf,
Yeah.
if I hit a bad shot, I'm still having fun. You're absolutely right. This
That's
is
right.
so basic.
Okay. So John, so where are we at? We only got to about 85 minutes. Where are we at now?
We are at the 78-minute mark.
Okay, so we better get on. So the last one, real quickly, is called the CAN strategy. That's choosing to take action now. So I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. This is one of my favorite sayings from Einstein. If knowledge without action is just recreation. It doesn't do you any good if you just get knowledge and you don't take action on it. So again, we want you to take action on what you've learned here today. So let's go to the next slide. We're going to have to skip a few of these slides here because we want to get to something. So those are real benefits. Next slide. Let's go on to the next slide. Okay, let's go to here. Now, here's the important thing we want you to know. So now we've given you why you need to do this, why it's such an important, a critical issue in America, and we're giving you what you can do to really change your life and to elevate your health and your longevity. But we also know that it's kind of hard to do it on yourself. Even though you may be inspired and motivated after listening to all this, you say, yeah, I'm going to do this. But then when you get out back by yourself, it's a little more difficult. So coaching nowadays is known to be the fastest and most effective way to achieve your goals. Let's go to the next slide here. And so what we're going to offer you, we come up with two special programs, really basically for elders. This is an older slide, but I just want to let you know that we have two programs that we want to offer you that's really going to help you to actually be successful and make it happen. So the first one is called Real Results Real Fast. It's a 90-day online training program. And again, we'll put this how you can connect to this program and learn more about it. We'll put that in the show notes. But basically, it's agelesslivinglifestyle.com/real results real fast. And there, what you do, first of all, you can take our agent assessment, and then you book a call with me, and we determine if you're a good fit for this, and we explain to you how we can help you with this. So it's a 90-day program where you get coaching from me and John every week. Each week you get a PDF, you get a video that tells you exactly what you need to do. You get a copy of my book, Ageless Living, which is a workbook. So you know exactly how to develop all these programs that we went through, your CLEAR strategy, your CARE strategy, and your CAN strategy. So at the end of 90 days, you have your complete personalized wellness program that you can implement for the rest of your life, and so that you will never be old. Now, but we also offer a new program here that's really inexpensive. It's almost hardly anything. And we basically came up with this. It's called the Age Reversal Program. And this is what we thought of. There's so many people that we know that you're out there, that you're concerned about the health of your parents, and maybe they're not doing too well. So this is a gift that you could give to your parents, because maybe they're hesitant to get started. But if you encourage them and you say, I've got a great gift for you, we hope they'll do it. So this is a basic starter program, but still they're going to do agent assessment. I'm going to develop a personalized program for them based on their assessment, and they're going to get a free call with me to answer any questions. We're going to get a lot of support materials, and they'll be able to get started on their path to never being old. And that's so inexpensive. That's at agelesslivinglifestyle.com, Age Reversal. And so we really encourage you to get some help. You know, it's hard to do things on your own. We'd love to work with you. We'd love to help you. And we've got a bunch of free gifts for you as well. How much time we have left, John?
We've got about 41 and 42, about 2 minutes. Real quick, I got 30 seconds. I wanted to ask you on your 90-day phone coaching program, is that, after those 90 days, life is going to be fun. At what stage, is it turns into fun on those 90 days? I mean, because when you know what you're looking for, and that's fun and to be in your best physical shape, your coaching program, I know, is very effective, Rico, very effective. At what point does it turn into fun?
Well, I'll tell you, some people will say, well, I don't think exercising or doing any of these things are fun. But I'll tell you what, when you begin to do this and you begin to incorporate these lifestyle habits into your life, you're going to look and feel so much better. You're going to start having a lot more fun in your life. But it occurs really quickly. It actually occurs really quickly. So we really really encourage you to get involved with us. We're here to help you. We'd love to help you, and we'll put all this. John's got some great gifts for you. We'll put all this information in the notes, so you'll know where to go to get your free gift just for being here. So both John and I, we thank you very much for being here, and we'd love to work with you. We'd love to hear from you, and so let us know. Contact us and let us know what you thought or any ideas, any feedback. Like any last words, John?
Yeah, one more thing is we're all about next steps. We're all about those next steps to fun, and we will give a 30-day free trial on the best, latest technology on mindset shift that you just basically listen for 30 minutes a day, and it's free. We're going to give it to you for 30 days, and you will see some incredible results.
All right. So we know you can do it. So you just got to go out and do it. All right. Thanks very much for being here, you guys. Always remember, be bold and never be old.